I remember in 1993, standing right about here with Alanis. And I remember I asked, so if you did a video for Head Over Feet, what would you do? You know, what would it be? And she said, maybe I'll mimic you. And that's what she did. And there's 2 videos for the song Head Over Feet. And the first one that she did, which is probably late 94, before the album was released, she filmed it. And there's the tree right there. You see it? Which one? This was just like a weed 33 years ago. It's still here. I remember a lot of sitting here next to this tree when it was just much smaller and the sun was on her, and I said, that's the cover of the 3rd album. You should go upstairs and get your camera and take a picture right now. We didn't do it because the sun was on. It looked really, it would have been a good cover, maybe. This is Amy Winehouse's song, You Sent Me Flying, upstairs in that apartment. You see Amy was never in this building, as far as I know. I don't believe so. This is a bank. You can see those are dollar bill signs. I remember when Alanis left in 1993 right here in a cab. Actually, it was probably right about here. These bikes weren't here, of course. This bike, DIY bikes weren't here. The cab was right about here. And it was in this cab. I was leaning against right here, and she was in the cab, remember? Actually, it was probably this one. And she rolled down the window and said, come here. And when I got in, I remember she said, our song has a new line, another line in it. And she told me what it was, and it was, you're much braver than I give you credit for. I guess she just thought of that morning. The cab was right here. And the last thing we said to each other in the cab was, Alana said, there's something I want to tell you. The name of the 3rd album is going to be Jagged Little Pill. And you're the first person I told. And she said, don't tell Christian. They were standing right here. And the cab was right there, so I remember I said to the cab driver, after I was, Alanis and I's, our lips were locked, and then after that, we released our lips, and I said to the cab driver, this is a really special woman you have here, take care of her. And once again, I had a little 8-second kiss, and I left the cab. And she drove off. About 20 seconds later, she sat there for about 20 seconds, I remember. I'm standing here, and that's when I said to her cousin, after she was gone, couldn't see the cab anymore, wow, look at those dollar signs up there. Maybe that's a good sign for the 3rd album. And her cousins said they never noticed those before. They lived here for, let's see, 93. They lived here about 4 years at that point. But since then, they're much more visible now. They restored this building since then. So, I mean, in her credit, they weren't that visible as they are today, I don't believe. You know, they've grinded all the grime off of it, so it looks brand new now. You can clearly see them now. It was a bank. For 50 years, this is a bank. So, in 1991, 2 years before that, I was sitting over here, right about here, and I was just having something cold to drink on a summer afternoon. I was had my bike with me, and I was sitting here. It's a nice place to stop, you know, coming from the north side to Lakeview, to my grandma's house. I used to stop here. And this tree was brand new then in 91. It was a young tree. Anyway, right there, Alanis was sitting. She came up from this way. I didn't see her until she sat down. I was sitting right here. I didn't see her as she was walking up. As you can see, there's cars parked there. She kind of came up that way. And all of a sudden, she disappeared and sat right there on that light post cement stand. After that, they painted it yellow. You can see now the yellow paint is all worn off, so it's real similar now to the way it was when it was new, except it was brand new concrete, of course. But that yellow paint really preserved it probably like the last 25 years. So she was sitting right there, and then she looked over to me. She turned her head, and we talked for about an hour and a half that day, about approximately. And that's when she tied, in 91 I'm talking about, is when she tied this tree together. And 2 years later, in 93, we were together again. After seeing each other over at the furniture store, which I just talked about. But this is a tree that we spent a few days together in 93. Sitting and talking here. And Alanis had an acoustic, the Taylor that she still has. She had, it was a pretty new guitar then. I think she just bought it. And, but not in Chicago. She bought it, I believe, in Canada. And, so she was sitting here with that Taylor. About the fourth morning we were together, after about 3 days spending some time together, in 1993 I'm saying, and she said, I wrote you a song yesterday, and it has harmonica in it because I know how much you want me to play harmonica. Because at the show about 3 days earlier I realized that she plays harmonica when she played it live. But that's what it was. She wasn't doing that then. She was doing more of a dance music thing. So she plays the song Head Over Feet for me. And this is where she first played it. In 93. I remember when I heard the first line when she started to play it, I was like, because she said, I wrote you a song last night and it has harmonica in it. So she starts to play it, and I heard the first line, and I thought to myself, ooh, that doesn't sound very good. It sounds like she's going to ask me to see you later. You know, the first line's a little harsh, and then everybody knows the song now. So if you listen to the song, you know what I'm talking about. But it's some sort of apple tree. It will have a a month from now or so, about 5 weeks from now, it will have those small little apples. They look like cherries, but I think they are some sort of apple. But you can see right here where it was tied together. You know, this is the heart of it. I remember she said, "Oh, I saw this. Someone do this. If you tie them together, they'll grow together." And we both were saying, like, "Oh, I wonder what it'll look like 50 years from now." Well, here it is, 33 years later. This is what it looks like. It's definitely fused pretty good. Yeah, you can see right there. Right there, the two together. Head over feet. I'm Robert F. Wall, Alanis' friend. Right about here is where she spun, like one of the first times she ever did that with her hair, you know, when she spins. It's right around here. I think she said she did it once or twice before. She'll have to say for sure, but it was definitely the second or third time she ever. I don't know if she ever did it on stage. And maybe once she said she tried it or something, but she was practicing here. She did it a few times here that summer. Her hair was pretty long in '93. See how close we are to the tree? So you know her famous spin in like in Not the Doctor. Or this is where she was doing it one of the first times. And you can see over there, I remember, you can see the top of that building. I remember standing right about here watching her do that and looking at that there, but it wasn't restored yet. It's an old movie theater over there. While she was spinning, I was amazed because the sun was right on her and her hair was really long. You know, it looked really interesting with the west sun behind me right on it. Too bad there's not a video of that. Well, she'll confirm that though. This is where she did that, the first practice, that famous spin with her long hair. And you know what? I think this is the same asphalt. I guess this is asphalt. You know, it looks like about 33 years old. See, it was brand new then. They did it in in '91. It was new. They restored this lot. It's an old lot, but they restored it in 1991. So doesn't this look like 35-year-old concrete or asphalt? Because I believe it is. So this is the asphalt that was here, and that is definitely the tree. So it is nice to still have this is the actual material. I don't remember them redoing it since '91. You can see it. There was another layer. Maybe they did. Maybe this is the layer that was here in '91, which looks like what I'm walking on now. So this is probably it. Okay. See you later.